All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. December 12th, we got ourselves a Tuesday with 5 NBA games on today's slate. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about the games, but all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If you do want to fade those picks, and be a guppy and fade those picks, those plays will be in the pinned comment, so keep an eye on that as I always update it throughout the day, always in with plenty of time before games. But last night was not a night that you wanted to fade me. We went 3-1 with 2+ money cashes here. Our only loss of the night was the Heat -3.5. They won by 2 points, so we were one bucket away, and we were this close to bringing out the money gun for a sweep. But nonetheless, the Mavs money line cash, the Thunder team total cashed that in damn near the early fourth quarter there for +114 odds, and then our same game parlay, Nets Kings +200, cha-ching, it cashes. Now I'll be honest, not to say we got lucky, but that thing was not looking great at halftime. I mean, De'Aaron Fox hit 2 threes, which we needed from him in the first 30 seconds of the game. So I was like, all right, 1 of 3 legs down. Then we needed Harrison Barnes over in points, or Harrison Barnes 10 plus points. Mikal Bridges 2+ threes. Mikal Bridges finished the half with 4 points total, so he was having a bad night. And Harrison Barnes had 2 points at half. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. This one leg looked great, but then all of a sudden, late third, early fourth, things started to click. We started to chug along, and boom, Bridges finishes with 3 threes, and Harrison Barnes finishes with 14 points. You know what? Give us another cha-ching, because the fun does have to stop there. We got to talk about the ride of the day. I think this is 3 ride of the days in a row that have not come through. So this one's Harrison facing the womp womp today. He had hashtag ride of the day. Clint Capella over 9.5 rebounds. Capella finishes just shy, too shy. He finishes with 8 boards. We needed at least 10 from him. Guys, if you do want to be the ride of the day, we got to get back on the win streak. Who is going to do it? Who's going to get the shout out in the next video? Use hashtag ride of the day. I'll pick one person in the comments jumping on board with you, and then you guys get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. But don't you dare post something in the comments if you don't think it's going to be an absolute banger. Go ahead and use that hashtag ride of the day. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 on today's slate. And I like the spot for the Mavericks here. They're +2 at home. Actually, on FanDuel, you can get them at +2.5, so even better there. The total sitting at 235.5. And I think that this could be a little bit of a regression spot from the Lakers. They're coming off of, I guess you could say, the high of the in-season tournament. They've won 7 of their last 10 games, and they lost by 3 points last time they played the Mavericks here, but they were at home. This Mavericks team, has been playing well. I think that they're finally kind of hitting their stride. They've won 3 straight, but they're winning games like they're supposed to win games, right? 147-97 against Utah. They covered. Then they beat the Portland Trailblazers by 13. They covered. They beat Memphis yesterday. They covered, obviously. So I do think that this is a good spot for them. The only thing that I will say is that you're looking at a back-to-back spot. But, no Kyrie yesterday. I think that he probably ends up playing today, but you want to keep an eye on that injury report, as he's questionable. Grant Williams is questionable. Hardaway Jr. is questionable. Derek Jones is questionable. A lot of guys questionable on that side of thing, which makes sense. This is a team that, sits plenty of guys in back-to-back spots and whatnot. But again, if the back-to-back, is going to put us over the edge and kill this bet, so be it. But I think in a lot of ways, this is a Mavericks team that matches up well against the Lakers here. They don't cover guards all that well. The 2 best players in the Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka. Also on the injury side of things for the Lakers, Anthony Davis questionable and LeBron James questionable, but they're just playing questionable kisses in the questionable tent, because those guys play every single game anyways. But nonetheless, give me the Mavs here plus the 2 or 2.5 points if we can get that. The one thing that I will say is that this Lakers offense, and I would say this Lakers defense, is kind of coming around and looking pretty good. Again, this is just a spot where I'm trying to spot some regression. So I don't want the comments being like, what are you talking about? The Lakers have been playing really well. I'm giving them all that credit in the world. I do think that this is one of the harder matchups that they've probably had to deal with offensively in a while here. Going from Houston, Phoenix, New Orleans, and Indiana. Indiana, you can make an argument for, but this Dallas team plays faster than all those other teams. So give me Dallas here plus the points. In terms of a total, sitting at 235, I literally have this one pegged at 236, so it's the smallest of margins of a lean towards the over. The thing that probably keeps me off of it is, again, this is a Lakers team that I'm giving credit to, and it is kind of coming around. In the last 5 games here, they have not looked bad at all. Ranked 4th in field goal percentage allowed, 4th best that is, 3rd in points allowed. Like, this is a defense that is starting to come around. But do they have the gusto? Do they care for this game like they clearly cared in the in-season tournament? That's where you kind of lose me. So give me Dallas, as well as a slight lean towards the over, but more likely to pull the trigger on Dallas in today's game. All right, guys, if you don't mind, let me talk to you about a great deal going on over on Sleeper right now. They have $1 million giveaway going on. It's super easy to enter too. All you have to do is do what you'd normally be doing on the app and enter in some picks contests, and you get entry tickets into this $1 million giveaway that is happening on December 26th. And right now, during this time, if you use the link in the pinned comment and you're a new user and you're your first time depositor, you can get matched up to $500. That's right. Yes, it's a lot to put in $500, but you could get $500 free from Sleeper. You'll have a new account balance of $1,000, which is absolutely absurd. You don't have to put in $500. You can put in $20. They'll match your $20. You'll have a new account balance of $40, right? But go ahead and check it out, guys. If you haven't checked out Sleeper and it's legal in your state, you got to do so. It is my favorite DFS pick'em app out there right now. You just combine 2 to 8 players in a slip, and obviously the more you put in, the more you get right, the more you get paid out. And where they differ from the prize picks and underdogs of the world is each and every selection you make has its own dynamic multiplier, so you don't follow the fixed payout structure like those other apps that I mentioned. So go ahead and check out Sleeper, guys. I've been hammering on this app, posting a lot of TikToks and YouTube shorts with it too. Go ahead and check it out. Again, that link is in the pinned comment. Let's get back to the slate and get back to game number 2 here. All right, so something cool we're doing for this game. If you guys are aware of the channel, The Final Round with Jordan, he does NBA picks as well, player props every single day. Great channel. Go check it out if you have not yet. But he's a Cavs fan, and now we have, 2 games in 3 days between the Celtics and the Cavs. So we're doing a little proposition here where we're doing a giveaway based on picks. So I gave him 3 player props that he's going to post on his channel today, and he's going to do the same, and then he's going to send me some picks that will feature on the channel on my video in a couple days here. Whoever comes out on top in terms of our picks will be doing a giveaway in that for that video and for that team. So you can either ride with Jordan, you can ride with me, what have you guys. But go ahead and check out The Final Round. When he posts his video, I'll link that in the pinned comment as well, so you guys can go check him out and subscribe if you are not yet. But he's absolutely cruising right now. Credit to him. Great picks, great channel, great guy. We talked on the phone the other day as well to set this thing up. So go check out that video, and we'll have something very similar in a couple days on my video. But in terms of this game, we got the Celtics laying 10 points, which does make sense. It's a little bit too much for me. Like I said, I think the Celtics win this game, but do I confidently like them laying 10 points? Not necessarily. And we have a couple injuries to note here. So Evan Mobley's questionable. He didn't play last night. They were on a back-to-back, so I guess that's good news for him that maybe they were saving him, or maybe he's healthier for this game than you might think because he didn't play last night. No major injuries to note for the Celtics either, which is great because when this team is healthy, they are damn legit. I don't have to tell you that, right? But 10 points seems like it's a little bit too much. So I am probably going to stay away from the spread here. Just because I could see the Celtics winning this game by like 8 points, right? Kind of like a dominant fashion win. But double digits, I don't totally love. What I don't mind is the over 224.5 here. I could see this finishing in the higher, upper 220s, maybe even in the 230s. If you look at these last few games between these two teams, now, yes, 3 of the last 4 have gone to overtime, but you have game totals of 132 to 123, 114 to 113, 117 to 113, 118 to 114. Like, these two teams like to score against one another. You have Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, who are very good friends, going back and forth here. And the Celtics have just been putting up tons of points here. They're doing more than their part in terms of a 224.5 total, right? So I'll lean towards the over here. I think FanDuel may be a point lower as of the time of recording too, if you do want to get that. I think it's at 223.5. If you like the under, MGM has 224.5 right now. So make sure you're shopping around getting the best line. But give me the over in this game. And like I said, I lean towards the Celtics to win this one. So maybe if you got some sort of alternate line or put them in the money line in the parlay, play. You know, they're rested, they're at home going up against team on a back-to-back, but I just don't love laying the 10 points here. What I will say is that this Cleveland team, in the last 10 games of them being 10-point or more underdogs here, they've covered in 8 of those. The Celtics have only covered as 10 or more point favorites in 1 of the last 10 games. So you see what I mean here? Like, this is a spot where the Celtics probably win, but that's a lot of points to lay towards a Cleveland team that is damn talented. And like I said, they're kind of slept on this season as well. I mean, they're coming off of a bad loss to Orlando yesterday, but maybe they were looking ahead to this spot. But give me the over in this one as my main lean. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if anything final comes out of this game, and keep an eye on the pinned comment for that link to Jordan's channel. All right, Chicago hosting Denver here. Denver coming off of, I guess what you could call a quality win against Atlanta, right? They kept up with them. They covered. They needed that win pretty much. They had lost 3 straight prior to that game, but Jamal Murray played last night, which is good to see. And I will say that, you know, this is a Denver team that we can't forget how good they are. We really can't, right? But they have been a tale of 2 teams. 9-1 at home this season and 6-8 on the road. Like, that is not something to tip your nose at and not pay attention to. The one caveat I'll throw in, and I'll be honest, is that, you know, Jamal Murray missing time and missing games here and there. A lot of those have come on the road, which is like, okay, well, yeah, no kidding. They're worse without Jamal Murray, right? But one thing I will say is that, you know, this is a team that, like I said, 6-8 straight up on the road. They're 4-10 against the spread, and they're again on the road, and they're laying a big number here in 8. So this is similar to the Celtics, and I hate to kind of give you guys like a wishy-washy sort of lean here, but like I lean the Nuggets to win this game, but maybe by 5-6 points. So that 8 number is a little out of range. What I can tell you for sure is that I'm not going to trust Chicago and bet Chicago against Denver here. Now, Chicago did cover against Milwaukee last night. They kept that game close. Somehow they have Milwaukee's number in terms of making games close or even beating them like they did a couple weeks ago, right? But nonetheless, like, that just seems like too high of a number to me. If in the morning we're looking at this game being like, yeah, Denver won by 22 points, it wouldn't shock me at all, but it's not a confident spot for me to lay. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes in sports betting, we should all know this, right? It's like, you can stay away from a game, still have your feelings about it, but you don't have to put your bread on it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a spot where, yes, Denver's the better team. Yes, if they're healthy, they're way better, like, blah, blah, blah. But do we have to risk it on this game? Because Denver could win this game 7 points and not cover this line and still feel like they dominated that game. So unfortunately, I am sticking away from it just a little bit, but I'll lean towards the over as well. I liked what I saw out of Chicago. Both these teams on a back-to-back. I just can't see the defense being there for either ball club here. So go ahead and give me the over 216.5. I think that's just a low number. I've seen this number anywhere from 216.5 up to 218.5 this morning. We're up early. Lines are kind of shifting around. But yeah, 216.5 seems like a pretty damn valuable line in this spot as of right now. Both teams have covered this one you know, pretty easily here. So 9 of their last 10 to Chicago covering this line, and then 7 of their last 10 for Denver. It's one of my favorite plays on the board today, 216.5. Now we'll keep digging. You know, I want to look into some more back-to-back numbers that we don't have at this time in the morning, but this definitely could be a final play. Keep an eye on that pinned comment, guys. All right, now I talked about finding the best lines and everything like that, guys. You gotta be checking out OddsJam for something like that. OddsJam is literally a one-stop shop, no matter if you're a parlay bettor, DFS player, you know, EV bettor. Like, they have so many damn tools for everyone. I love the sportsbook screen. I'll flash this up on the screen right now. This is for the NFL. We can switch it to the NBA if we need to, obviously. But pretty much every single play that's available on every single sportsbook, you can go money line, point spread. If you want to go player props, they have everything like that too. Points plus rebounds, for example, right? Every single player prop available. You can compare all sportsbooks lines and see them as they move. You could filter to certain sportsbooks as well if you'd like. This is such a great screen to make sure you're identifying the values. So when we're looking at totals, like I just said, for that game, you know, the totals anywhere from 216 to 218, you want to make sure you're getting the best line. Why would you buy a car for 15 grand if you can mosey on down the road and buy it for 10 grand a block down at a different dealership, right? Get the best prices. OddsJam, I use that tool all the time for that. I'm using this every single day. You guys know I don't promote anything on the channel that I don't use myself. I love the EV tool that OddsJam has as well. You can get 7 days free with the link in the pinned comment. You can also get 25% off your first month if you do sign up. Go ahead and check out OddsJam, guys. Well worth it. Now let's go ahead and jump into this game here. We got Phoenix taking on Golden State. I think it's going to be a good game. The spread and the total both indicate appreciate that as well. So obviously good to note there. In terms of injuries, we don't have any updates on Kevin Durant here. He missed the last game. He's listed as questionable. Obviously, if he plays, it's a game changer. Chris Paul and Klay Thompson both also probable with illnesses here. I believe Klay didn't miss any time. But I think Chris Paul missed last game, if I'm not mistaken there. But nonetheless, keep an eye on the injury report because you have 3 guys that definitely impact this game here. But in terms of what we're looking at, I think that this is a Phoenix team that we're going to trust at home here. They haven't been all that tremendous at home this season, just 4-6 straight up. So I'll get ahead of it and say that, like, I'm not trusting them to be this world beater. But if Kevin Durant is a go, this is a team that is just due for a win. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They've played some decent teams in their Sacramento Lakers during the play-in. Then you have Denver on there. Like, they've kind of gone through a little bit of a gauntlet here, whereas Golden State again is still loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. Like, they're just not consistent. So you have a team that, in my opinion, should be hungry, should be due for a win against a team that just kind of like moseying along, up and down here. Yes, they've had injury concerns, but they've been super inconsistent. So I'll take Phoenix here. But again, it's going to come down to injuries, and even that, it's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State wins this game, right? So we may leave this as a lean here, but I'll take Phoenix -3. I'd even be more comfortable with them on the money line, no kidding. But that money line is -152 as your best bet over on FanDuel right now. I don't know if we could stomach those odds. In terms of a total, 232.5 is what we're looking at here. I think this finishes in the low 220s. Maybe like a Phoenix let's say a Phoenix 116 to Golden State's 112. That finishes at obviously 228, which is below this number. I like the under, and it also kind of shows where I think that spread lays. Like, that's only 1 point of margin in terms of what I have it pegged at as to what the spread is. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we do with this. I do think this is going to be a very, very good game and a close game, competitive game. I just don't know if we pull the trigger on this one. All right, guys, a couple things before we get into the last game. Go ahead and comment 16 if you made it thus far. If you made it this far into the video, comment 16. Let me know that you're part of the Fade Squad and not a guppy, because guppies don't make it this far into the video. And on that note, I do want to say, and I'll do this quick, I know you guys don't want the sappy stuff, but man, you guys have been absolutely killer in terms of engagement, new subscribers, liking the videos, comments, like, life-changing, guys. I don't want that to go unnoticed. I say all the time, I'm the dummy with the mic and the camera and the setup, right? But you guys are really the thing that makes this engine turn, and I do want to say thank you so much. Like, if you look at other channels on YouTube, and we have insights and graphs that look at people in the same field and whatnot, and it's not knocking anybody at all, but in terms of video output between full-length videos, other types of videos, and shorts, not just daily picks, right? Our like production of videos quantity is way up here. Like, we're grinding, trying to get as many videos out as possible. 1, because I love it, but 2, because I love the fact that we're building this community, and I pride myself on being able to get a bunch of videos out that are all still quality, right? We're not just going quantity. I believe we have some of the best production value, best editing, best software, best quality, everything, audio, video, on YouTube here, especially in this space. So it means a lot to me that that work is paying off, and you guys are paying it off. Do you know what I mean? So appreciate the hell out of you guys, for real. Not to take time out of this video, but I wanted to say it before we finished, that I am truly thankful. And, I say it all the time and mean it all the time, but I know it's such a cliche to be like, oh, I'm so thankful. But guys, swear to freaking God, like, so damn thankful for the position. You guys allow me to get up and do this every day. Like, it means a whole hell of a lot. Big things to come as well, which I'm very, very excited for. But yeah, just wanted to say that, guys. I am very, very thankful. But enough of the sappy stuff, all right? Let's go ahead and jump into the last game of the slate. We got the Clippers taking on the Kings here. The Kings, we talked about it. They got the win last night. They were in our same game parlay. They win 131 to 118. But this is a Kings team that's 0-2 against the spread and 0-2 straight up on back-to-backs this season. Whereas you have a Clippers team with rest advantage, 3-2 this season as well. Now, they're way better at home. We've said that all along, right? This is a Clippers team that's 4-7. on the road, and then at home they're 8-3, which is like a tale of two teams like we've seen a lot in the NBA this season, right? They're not as great against the spread at home, but nonetheless they still win more games at home. They're -4, which I don't necessarily love here, but I think they win this game. So I'm gonna, throw the lifeline out there, throw the hope, the flare in the air there, because I think the Clippers win this game. Maybe it's by 3 points, not 4 points, which is unfortunate if we do choose to make that a final play. But I'll go ahead and lean towards the Clippers in this spot. In terms of a total, I like the under in this spot as well. Again, you saw a Sacramento team go out there and score a bunch of points last night, right? Was it 133? In terms of them, on no rest here, this is a team that really doesn't look all that great in terms of covering that. They've struggled to cover overs on back-to-back this year as well. So I'll go ahead and lean towards the under, because the Clippers, again, I like that spot for them, but when they're at home, they're 2-7-2 to the over. So 7-2-2 to the under. I really do think that this is a good spot for them to kind of slow it down, win this game more methodically, rely on some of their guys. Injury news here, no major injuries to update as well, so we should know who is playing. But guys, that is going to wrap for today's video. I want to say thank you again, but we just took a couple minutes to say it, but I am so damn thankful. And you guys absolutely crush it day in and day out, and I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Let's cash again. We're on fire here. We went 4-1 in the NFL games last night on Monday night. We went 3-1 in the NBA. Like, every sports bettor knows, you kind of find that pocket. Now it's on us to kind of keep that going, right? Because we don't want it to be a good night. We want it to be a good streak, because it's all about streaks. We're not going to win every NBA game or bet for the rest of the season, but we want to win more than we lose, which we've done thus far to the season to date. But, we want to make that even more and more and more and more and more and more and more. But that's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.